Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for Broadway-World. The new musical Amazing Grace will open on Broadway at the Nederlander Theater on July 16th with a company led by Josh Young, Erin Mackey, Chuck Cooper, and Tom Hewitt. And we're here at 54 Below to bring you a sneak peek and to meet the company.
When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun.
That was really incredible this morning, what you just gave us in this room. How do you do it at 10 o'clock in the morning?
I will myself to do it because I don't have a choice. No, I wake up early, warm up, and here we are.
Well, this was great. Tell me what this whole journey has been like for you so far with working on Amazing Grace.
Well, I've never taken a show from infancy to Broadway, so I was cast in a reading of this in 2009 and did like 5 other readings through the years, and here we are in 2015 on Broadway, so couldn't be happier.
It must be so wonderful to work on a new musical from scratch.
It is, and create the part, and it's just the most wonderful part. This role is kind of the role of a lifetime, and nobody knows this guy. Nobody knows who John Newton was, and yet none of us would be exactly where we are had it not been for this guy. The sort of the butterfly effect that he created through his actions would have affected all of us today. This guy was the lowest of the low. He was a slave ship captain, and through a series of divine interventions, he ends up finding the light and seeing the error of his ways, and testifying his first-hand witness as a slave trader before Parliament, begging them to abolish the slave trade. Through that first-hand account, in front of Parliament, they take his words, and the slave trade is finally abolished. Had it not been for that testimony, I don't know how much longer it would have taken for the slave trade to have been abolished. And that started in England, spread out to other parts of Europe, and then the African slave trade ended in the world. So had it not been for John Newton, who knows where all of us would be today. And so it's great to bring that story to New York and hopefully to the world, because he was an amazing figure.
You will see that to be truly alive, I need to stand still and survive, and find my way through the wind and the spray. I am side, I call my home. Why can't you see it's something to be truly alive?
Well, here we are again.
Here we are again, Richie.
Tell me what it's been like working on Amazing Grace.
You know, it's been, well, to use the word, amazing from the very beginning. It's always great to, we did the show, of course, in Chicago. So you get a sense of ownership, and you get a sense of how the audience is going to receive the show. You leave it for a while, you get to come back and see it again with fresh eyes, and it's great. It's really great. It's great to see everybody again.
Tell me who you play.
I play Captain Jack Newton. I'm the father of John Newton, played by Josh Young. I'm sort of the antagonist father with the classic father-son, problems.
And what do you love about this musical? It's exciting because it's a brand new musical.
Absolutely, yeah, it's a brand new musical. It's a really, really great story. It's, and one of the most outrageous events of the story, the sort of the jaw-dropping, like, what is, no, really? It's true. It's the most outrageous event is also the most true event. I don't want to give it away, but it's great. It's great. It's full of, it's wonderful. Swashbuckling. There's gun battles. It's a really fun, satisfying story to tell.
And working with this cast.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm a huge Josh Young fan. We were in Jesus Christ Superstar together, although we never actually spent much time on the stage together. But boy, that boy can holler. And Chuck Cooper, everybody. It's a really wonderful cast, and it's a really fun, nice, warm feeling in the rehearsal room.
What are you looking forward to the most with bringing this musical to Broadway?
Well, I think I'm looking forward to people being surprised by the story. I think, I think people have preconceptions of what there is about to see, and let me tell you, what you're going to see is nothing like what you think it is.
All those words of hope your mother spoke can make a song your spirit can't ignore. Then through the tears of laughter you will long for more. Then you will see what joy can be. My oldest friend, you should know.
What's this whole journey been like for you working on Amazing Grace?
I have had the best time. I love these people so much. It's such a collaborative work environment. It's such a pleasure to go work on it, and the story is so powerful and so important. Getting to play Mary has been a real joy.
Talk about this woman that you play.
Yeah, I play Mary Catlett. She was John Newton's childhood sweetheart. She's a real person. She really existed in the world, and in our show, we've been able to really expand on some sentiments we think she had. The story takes place in the 1740s in England, so as a woman at that time, there was very little power available to you, and so I think it's so fascinating how progressive Mary is able to be in this time period. The difference she wants to make, how she fights against injustice. So she's a very strong, fiery woman who's kind of coming to her own realization about the world she's living in and what she can do to make it better.
And the importance of this musical.
Yeah. This show, I think, is just, it's so important. It's so timely. I mean, it's interesting to me because it does take place in the 1740s, and I read the script and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so relevant still today. Not only is there legitimate, just like there's slavery all throughout the world. Which we should be reminded of, in the United States, where we sometimes can forget. And then we should also remember our past. We should remember where we came from so that we can move on from it and never go back. So it's really important stuff we're talking about.
This beautiful score you get to sing.
Yes. Oh, the music's gorgeous. Chris Smith, our composer. This is just his passion. He read the story and he just wanted to bring it to life. And I'm so thrilled for him that it's coming to fruition like this. And his music is just breathtaking.
When your sin and guilt have worn you down, where will you go when there's nowhere left to run? Where will you go when there's nowhere left to run?
Welcome back to Broadway. How does it feel?
It's so cool. I never get. This is my 14th show.
Yeah.
I started my Broadway career at the Nederlander in Amen Corner, and here I am again, 14 Broadway shows later. It's so cool. I can't stand it.
It never gets old, does it?
Oh, are you kidding? Going into the stage door of a Broadway theater is the best thing you can do. And when they don't go, "Can I help you?"
They let you through the door.
Yeah, right.
This is so exciting. Talk about that beautiful number you sang today.
Oh my gosh, Nowhere Left to Run. It's a kind of taking him to task and asking the question, where do you go when there's nowhere left to hide? When you've exhausted all the bad behavior and it's no longer working for you. I mean, it's like when you bottom out, it's like what I guess every addict must have to ask themselves, this is not working anymore. These old, this self-medication, this whatever, this self-gratification, this what now? And so,
Beautiful song.
oh, thank you. I think Chris did a great job with it, and with many other numbers in the show, as you will see when you come to see our show.
And talk about the role that you play.
I play Pakute, who is the slave of our hero, John Newton. And through Pakute, we visit the world of that complex relationship between slave and slave owner. And it is ripe with complexity and anguish and horror and pain and potentially redemption.
Audiences love this in Chicago. Tell me why this touches people so, and what you think audiences, how they'll react to New York.
People are reacting to our show because I believe there's a karmic weight that our show is touching. The nation is coming to grips with the legacy of slavery. Ferguson is just one manifestation of that. The incarceration of black men, all of these things have their roots in slavery. And so I believe that our show becomes an opportunity for people to let down their guard, have those feelings, and begin a conversation. And that is why I'm really thrilled to be a part of it.
And working with this cast.
Oh my God, totally crazy guys. I mean, not only are they fun and great human beings, they're ridiculously talented. You know, every time Josh opens his mouth, I'm like, really? Really? 10 o'clock in the morning, you're doing that?
We did the same thing.
Oh, well, you know, it's how we roll, you know?
And this is my anthem to the one who prayed. Someday I will rise above. Somewhere in your eyes I could see beyond my sorrow.
Thank you for opening your rehearsal room sort of for us today.
Yes.
What has this whole journey been like for you working on Amazing Grace?
Well, you know, all my life, I've written 15 plays, and people say, oh, don't write that. Nobody wants to see that. And it's always done. The work is always done. And being part of this confirms, affirms what I believe and my life. And I'm a passionate, epic guy. I mean, I like big theater. I like to suffer. I like to laugh. I want to make your hands sweat. And so one of the problems with this show is that it's so rich that you have to say, oh no, we can't go on with that. Stop, we can't do that. You know, see, all of the characters are courageous people and passionate people, and they're hot. We're coming out of a cold theater period and going, I think audiences want heat now. And so I want to heal. And I want you to go to the theater and feel transformed. And it's happening. I mean, it happened at Goodspeed, it happened in Chicago, and they come back as 1, 2, 3, 4 times because something's going on. You know, it's a mystery. It's a mystery. But I'll shut up because...
No, I love that. If you could sum up the best part of the experience of working on this musical, what's it been for you?
Well, it gives my life meaning to be working on something that means something. And everything I believe this show is everything I believe.
This was so wonderful today.
Oh, thank you.
What has this whole journey been like for you? First of all, you're a newbie to Broadway.
Exactly.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. It has been equal parts terrifying and exhilarating, just learning, meeting everyone, and really growing because I'm self-taught. So I really have to rely on feedback and how people react to what I do. And I decided at the start to try and be the best listener I possibly could and really view this as a student and understand what was really an alien world to me at first.
So what attracted you to turn Amazing Grace into a musical?
It was an accident. I literally found the book by accident and read it without knowing who John Newton was. And it was just exhilarating. The story was just great. And I couldn't believe I hadn't heard of it. And I checked and found that there had never been a musical about it. And I'm a Leonard Bernstein fan. I'm like, I love the big stuff. And I said, this is it. This is an epic. And I went to my wife and I said, you know, somebody's got to do this. And she said, you got to do it. I said, me? And that's why I did it.
This was so beautiful today. What's this whole journey been like for you, Gabe, with working on Amazing Grace?
It's been truly amazing, frankly. We started on this show many years ago, as most Broadway shows do, before they make it into town. And it's just been a joy to develop the show with our authors, Chris and Arthur, with our music team led by Joe Church and a fantastic design team, but most of all with this exciting cast. So to just get such an amazing story, and as Carolyn said, an untold story, a story that nobody knows, is so great. But it's the real dramatic events of his life are so compelling and so dramatic that we really found that bringing it to the stage was easy in the sense we didn't have to create a lot of drama. You didn't have to. It's not like a biographical musical where you have to invent a conflict. I mean, this guy was conflicted, and the adventures of his journey, the peaks and valleys of it, are so extreme that it just makes for fantastic theater and an amazing musical because you really use the music to then articulate those peaks. So it's just been great, and it's full of challenges in terms of the backdrop of slavery and how to deal with that and deal with it responsibly and not pull punches. But at the same time, we want this to obviously make the show accessible to all audiences, which we believe fully that it is. And so it's been a real joy and pleasure and honor, really, to work on it.